Hi foodies, sometimes you really want to go out for brunch and you just don't get the chance to, or maybe you want to treat somebody to a nice breakfast. A breakfast skillet is a really easy way to do this because it has a variety of items, so it is super flavorful. Let's get into it. So what we're going to do, guys, is cut up the potatoes. So all you need to do is cut the potatoes lengthwise, and once you have these pieces, you're going to cut these lengthwise as well. So just go ahead and cut some long pieces, and then what we're going to do is cut them across to get some pieces that are about 1/2 inch. There we are. We have these good to go. And then all we need to do is just line these up and cut them across into 1/2 inch pieces. If you want to cut them smaller, you could, because of course your kitchen, your rules. All right, but 1/2 inch is usually good enough. Then you're going to soak this in some water, just room temperature water, for about 30 minutes. And then this will help to remove the excess starch. And you're going to drain off that water. After draining the water, then you're going to get some fresh water, put the potatoes in that in a pot and bring this to a boil. You'll need to boil this for about 4 minutes, not too long because you don't want it to be mushy, right? Now, when it comes to the other ingredients, we're using some bacon today, but you could use ham if you wanted to. So for the bacon, you can either cut it up and cook it in the cast iron skillet, or you could do what I did. I just put it in the oven. I put the bacon strips in the oven and then I just chopped them up. All right. And then I saved a little bit of that bacon grease to cook my veggies. So this is the bacon fat I have here. I'm going to put it in the cast iron skillet and then I'm going to cook up some vegetables. If you want to, you could use just a regular oil. However, if you like the flavor from the bacon, you could use the bacon grease. So here I have some bell peppers and onions. You can use mushrooms as well if you like, but I love to use just onions and bell peppers. I love the colors and the flavor. So you're going to saute these for maybe about 2 minutes or so. You just want to make sure it is cooked, but still a little firm. If you want to, you could add a little seasoning here. You could add a little salt and pepper or a little seasoned salt if you want to. So salt and pepper, and don't over salt it, all right? Because we're going to be adding seasoning throughout making this dish. So once this is cooked, set it aside. Then get your potatoes, drain them in a strainer. And then after that, you're going to lay a lot of paper towels on a baking tray and then just pour the potatoes out on a single layer and let them cool down and dry out. So you can do this for about 30 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how hungry you are, all right? How long you're willing to wait. But you want to just drain off that excess liquid. Once the potatoes are drained, add some butter to the skillet. Or if you prefer to use some more of that bacon fat, you can add it here. And we're going to be cooking the potatoes. Now remember that the potatoes were pre-cooked. So you don't need to add any water to this. They are pre-cooked. They're drained off on those paper towels. And now you just need to crisp them up. So we have butter and a little oil in the cast iron skillet here. And we're going to add the potatoes. Now as far as how crisp they get, that depends on you. You could cook them for about 10-12 minutes, crisping them up a lot. Or if you just want the edges to be crisp, then you don't have to cook them that long. So all you're going to be doing, guys, is just pouring the potatoes in the skillet. Move them around so they're in a single layer. You don't want them to be all over each other because you want them to hit the surface of the pan. Leave them on the surface of the pan for a bit and allow them to crisp up. Once you see those edges getting really golden brown, then you can start moving them around. So what you'll do is just flip them over and then make sure that every part of each piece is golden brown. So at this point, you are in control. You decide how crispy you want your potatoes to be. You can keep cooking them on the heat until they are completely crispy or partially crispy. It's all up to you. All right. And then once these are almost as crisp as you want them to be, then you're going to work on your eggs. Right here, I have unsalted butter in the pan, and this is over medium heat. I'm going to pour in the beaten eggs. If you want to, you could add a little bit of salt at this point, but what we're going to do is just leave this for a few seconds so the edges can firm up. So sprinkling your salt, you can even add pepper if you want to right now, but allow those edges to firm up. Once they start to firm up, you can lower your heat, and then you're just going to use your spatula to move around the edges that are firming up and just push everything to the center, and then you're just going to work with that spatula to swirl everything around and get all of the beaten eggs cooked. You want the eggs to be nice and fluffy and tender, so make sure your heat is not too high. If you feel like it's too high, just turn it down, and you can add a little butter as well if you feel like you need a little more. So what you're doing is just getting this ready while the potatoes continue to crisp up, and just keep an eye on the potatoes. Eggs are good to go, so take them off the heat and set them aside. All right, here we have the potatoes. If you want them to be more crisp than this, just continue to cook them in the skillet. All right, so once everything is done, we're gonna put everything together. So you could use a wider skillet. I think I should have used my wider skillet, but that's fine. I'm just gonna add the eggs, and then I'll add the vegetables and the bacon, and we'll just gently toss everything together. What you can do is you can season the potatoes by themselves, or you can just season everything together at this point. So I'm adding some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some paprika. I'll add some salt and pepper as well, but you can use seasoned salt. You can use some chipotle seasoning. There are many other things you could add to this. So season to taste, and also depending on how salty your bacon is. Once you've added all the seasoning you like, then just toss everything gently together. What I'll do now is add the cheese. I have some cheddar cheese and some mozzarella cheese. So you could use a Monterey Jack also if you wanted to. So just sprinkle that all over. Be as generous as you want to be. It's your kitchen, your rules, okay? And you know who you're making it for. So if they like a lot of cheese, you can always add more. So sprinkle the cheese all over. Now what you can do is keep this over low heat for a few seconds and cover it just to melt the cheese, or you could turn on the broiler and just put this in the oven under the broiler to melt that cheese, and you are good to go. That's it. Cheese is melted, everything is nice and hot at this point, and all you need is a garnish, because you know we need to have those beautiful colors, right? So we need some green at this point. I didn't use green peppers, so I'll just add some green onions, and you could use some parsley as well. That's it, guys. You have a beautiful breakfast skillet ready to eat. It was so delicious. Please remember to click that down arrow beside the video title to open up the description box where I'll leave some notes and the details on the ingredients. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.